In your book Ramayana, the human physiology, I've seen that you mapped how the entire story of Ramayan could be beautifully connected with our human physiology and different functions in our human body. So can you give me one or two examples for people to understand the depth of what you're trying to explain in your book?
The story of Ram going into exile
Right.
and kind of connecting everything back together is the story of the nervous system and how it grows, for example, through different stages. One of the first things, for example, that Ram goes through in training is to go to Vishvamitra in the forest.
Right.
And then it teaches him how to use the arrow and the bow and all that. And then there is a story about sound and somebody, a Rakshasa, going, creating sound that is disturbing.
Correct.
And then learning about balance. This is, for example, all how an individual starts growing and gaining balance in the first years of life. And this happens through what we call the vestibular system in the ears and the ear canal, which is like rivers and related to sound. So you can see very precise analogies of how the development happens. And then further on, if we take Sita as the seat in the heart, and then how, if the heart is separated from the nervous system, there is this tension that happens, that is like asphyxia, that is, and that creates a big tension.
Correct.
And then when the heart and the mind and the nervous system are connected properly together, then there is a wholeness that is created. So in the physiology also we have all the rishis that Ram encounters when he was in the Dandaka forest or when he was traveling, which each, its story and its function are actually present as nuclei, as centers of neurons in the brain, and they perform the same functions as described in the Ramayana.
Correct.
So we have not only the actual structures, but their connection and their sequence of how Ram goes from one place to the other and goes, like to Lanka, and where Ravana has the 10 heads, and that's the level of the cerebellum, what we call. So there is a connection there, there is a bridge, there is a river, there is a water, there is an ocean, and there is the 10 parts, and how they contribute, and how when they are all integrated together and come together, is going back to wholeness, which is coming back to Ayodhya. So this is kind of a broad perspective, but it's all there in structure and in function in our nervous system.
Beautiful.